All right, Coach, we're going to open up to you for an opening statement, then we'll take questions.
Well, Merry Christmas, fellas. Hope you and your family and everybody's safe and you're not taking anything for granted. This is a different time that we living in. It's a new normal, and you just gotta, get in your own little bubble and try to maintain. Not easy doing what we're doing. It's a challenge in everyday life. So wish you guys a happy new year for you and good health for you and your family. As far as our team is concerned, I still think we're a work in progress. Our kids are practicing hard and playing hard. It's just that we just haven't had enough reps to have the things that we need to be doing consistently. I thought the game that we lost against Central Florida, I thought that they played with a real focus on everything that they had in their game plan. I thought their kids really, really played probably as hard as any team that we played against, executed the game plan flawlessly. That just shows that we're in a different position where we getting the maximum effort. We're getting the very best of everybody that we're playing against. That's a new territory for some of our guys. We kind of been on a climb, and I just think that we have to start developing a next level of being rare and protecting that which the people before you have earned. And we in that transition period, I think every program goes through when you are trying to move your program to that, I don't know what is the blue blood status of whatever category name y'all give that group of people that people automatically put in a certain mental category. Our kids are humble. They don't necessarily feel the pressure of protecting that status, but we going in now on the road against a Clemson team that's nationally ranked. They are playing as well as any team I've seen. Their effort, their execution, the pace that they're playing at is different. And I really feel that our guys recognize that. I'm looking for us to utilize the loss against Central Florida as a eye opener, a reality check, that we need to readjust our thermometer and realize that that's where we are, and if we're going to maintain what we worked hard to achieve, we gotta be like that mother bear, protecting the cubs, protecting our culture, protecting the legacy that all those other guys who've worked hard to help us build. And that's pretty much where we are. It's not as much about who we're playing, now as much about that mental frame of mind that we get ourselves in every day to go out and try not to be the best we can be. All right.
Antoine first.
Coach, how important was it to have that time off, especially with the short amount of games and the amount of games you had in the short amount of time right before you start up ACC play against Clemson?
Well, there's no doubt that we are not physically where we normally would be this time of year because of a lot of the missed preseason stuff and the approach that we took. I could tell that we had played so many games in a short period of time that physically we were getting a little aches and pains here, a little soreness here, some things that you normally don't start getting to late January or February. I could see a little tendonitis popping up. Nothing to keep you from playing, but things that are just athletic issues that you deal with as an athlete. Personally, though, I wish we could have spent a little bit more time with our guys, but that's not what it was. But so I think it came at a welcome time. I thought you saw that in the Gardner-Webb game. I thought if you watched the game, we had a lot of guys expend themselves and actually come out of the game, let us know that they were fatigued. I was glad to see that. So this having an opportunity to take some days off, I'm hopeful that it kind of rejuvenated their spirits a little bit and then also kind of gave their bodies a little bit of a time to kind of recuperate from that on the 4 games in a short period of time.
Go to Chris Nee.
Good morning, Coach. After UCF, you talked about a couple areas where the team just was kind of deficient. On the ball defense, stopping the dribble, for example, rebounding. When you talk about having to improve and things you guys are working on beyond the mental approach, what are some of those areas that you're focusing on?
Well, I think you've heard a lot of the talking heads talk about how people approach us from the offensive philosophy. And because of the way we defend, not necessarily that it's better than anyone else, it's just that our defensive system is a little different than what other people use. And so people feel that if they isolate their point guard on our center and they drive him to the basket, which most guards are a lot quicker and faster than bigger guys. So it's a little different. We had Bernard James. He was just as quick as the guards, and we didn't get beat off the dribble. So that's a tactic that they use. Just drive the ball. In other words, some people have little schemes and systems that they have utilized over the years, philosophies that work well for them. We don't see much of that. We see guys just driving the ball and trying to do what they think is, play against what they think is our weakest area. And for the most part, it's effective approach. So we had to make a decision. Do we want to play conventional defense and let everybody do what they work on every day in practice, or do we want to play what we believe works for us and have people utilize what they think works against us? So, we will make whatever adjustments we feel that we need to, and containing the dribble is one of them. Contesting at the rim is something that I felt that we have not done a very good job of. I mean, I thought you saw against UCF. I don't know. Chuck, do we have 1 or 2 block shots?
I think just 1.
We had 1. Now, we didn't get better, more athletic, and develop shot blocking skills between Saturday night to Monday. I mean, unless the fairy godmother came in at night and with that wand and tapped somebody. But we were not that there's any. I think it's easy to say that Central Florida is a different level of team than Gardner-Webb, but they basically used the same system. Shot the ball very well. They drove and kicked it and pitched it. But I thought that we were a little more active, running shots down, contesting them, and getting our hands up. so that this shows that we're learning. So we still got a lot of parts of our game we need to improve on. You know, we're a long ways away. We have guys who taking on different roles, and they're adjusting to that. We got 4 guys that are trying to learn a whole new system. We have a point guard that was a power forward all his life, and now he's at Florida State, trying to really be conscious of where everybody is and how to help make the game easy for everyone else. So we're still growing. We got a lot of areas that we need to improve on, and hopefully we'll continue to keep getting better. So this is a new team. Lost 4 really good players last year that we all know is doing very well, and we're not quite there yet. Let's just hope that that we can just keep finding ways to win games while we develop them.
Go to Ira.
Hey, Leonard, you've been a part of programs that were either the hunted, you know, obviously as Kentucky was, or you got to that point at Miami. What is the mentality you have to have when you get to that level and you're getting everybody's best shot?
Well, it evolves over time where the culture and the tradition is kind of handed down to other guys where they visually see, they respect, they earn. It's a mindset you get into. I haven't had the luxury in my head coaching career of ever going in a place that was already at that level before I got there. So it's always been a climb. It's always been a constant reminder. It's a mindset that evolves over a period of time. And there are times when I feel that our culture carries us because of the unselfish spirit our kids play with, the mindset of not taking any possessions off and sharing the ball and sharing playing time. I think a lot of us, because when you look back and see Jonathan Isaac averaged 11 points a game, 6th pick in the draft, and you see Fiondu Kamageli, first round draft pick, 6-man, Terrence Pat Williams, averaging 12 points a game in the NBA. You know, that they realize that when we say we have 9, 10 starters, that's the way we treat our system. They start believing in it, and so they start buying in, and eventually, hopefully, we'll get there. I still think we're still developing that, because in our new age, in our society, is fast food, instant grits, everything's automatic. You expect one and done. That whole let's get it done now mentality exists in all our walks of life. So it's just not easy to grow and mature to that point. It's like you got to cultivate the land, you got to plant the seeds, you got to water them, you got to fertilize it, you just got to keep working at it, and eventually, you'll have a consistent crop. And the cake's still in the oven. We're still in the ink and baker. We still are developing that. So I don't lose sight. We're not the UCLA of the South. We haven't won 9 straight championships. But that's what makes it so much fun. That makes where we are. We'll appreciate. But in order to, it's just always it's always a climb when you are trying to switch over from being the hunter to being the hunted.
Go to Bob Ferrante.
Hey, good morning, Coach. Curious about Anthony Polite. You've kind of asked him to take on a little bit more of an expanded role, a little bit more minutes this season, and it seems like he's produced for you, on both ends of the court. Just talk a little bit about maybe his preparation for this year and taking on that role for you.
Well, Anthony had a severe tendonitis problems when he came in as a freshman and was redshirted. And many times he would be in my office and he would be extremely emotional because, you know, he just couldn't, you know, go out and perform at the level that he wanted to because of the consistent flare-ups. So, I mean, he knows our system. He's very smart. He's becoming more and more vocal in the huddles with the team. He's always thinking ahead, trying to remind our guys of all the little things. I'm very, very impressed with him from a leadership standpoint. But still, there are times when he could be a little bit more aggressive. He's naturally a very good contained guy, a good on-the-ball defender. Obviously, he's an excellent perimeter shooter. It doesn't make sense that he's shooting so well from three. He might be shooting better from the three than he is from the free throw line, which makes no sense. And I'm reminding him every time I walk by him, you know, to prod him a little bit more. I think a lot of it's just that mental area that he has to overcome with the free throw thing. He's really, really got great release, great rotation. So it's just obvious that we've got growing we have to do. But Anthony is, as well as he's playing for us, I still feel like he has another level. And I think you've only seen the tip of the iceberg with him. I mean, he's strong, he's physical, he's quick. He plays some backup point guard for us. Very smart, cerebral player. Plays hard all the time. I still think that he could attack the basket a little bit more with his quickness and speed. He's very athletic. I just think that I'm enjoying watching his growth and maturity and him becoming more and more of a leader on our team. And he's definitely earned the respect of his teammates.
Evan, you have a question for Coach?
Sure. Coach, a number of things I could ask you about, but big picture, this will be your last game of 2020, and it's been a tumultuous year for many, but for Florida State basketball, it's been a pretty good year. How has 2020 gone for you?
You know, Evan, I'm just not a philosophical guy. You know, I stay in the moment. Had you not brought this up, I'm not real sure I ever would have thought about 2020. I would have been just looking forward to the game on Tuesday. It's amazing to me how when I talk to people in the business and they remind me of things that have happened, I don't look in the rearview mirror. I just kind of use certain things to stay motivated, because I realize that in our business, you know, you can't allow yourself to sometimes to exhale. You got to stay focused, and that's my approach. It's my approach to life. I feel like we're making progress, but that's what we're supposed to do. You know, that we're supposed to be in it. So I thought we last night I was on the YouTube, and you know, I don't have very many habits and many things I do, but I'm addicted to gospel music, and now I'm watching people train dogs. I'm looking at exercise videos. I've gotten to the point where now I don't start being pulled toward, you know, just inventions and history and documentaries. But as I was getting ready to turn this thing off, there was like a three-minute deal on Florida State and something about celebrating. And so I flipped it. and I went back and watched, some information on last year, and with a sense of pride, and I enjoyed watching, and I enjoyed watching the facial expressions of our players and how in some of those close games and how guys would make plays and the bench would just go totally crazy, and they were so much into it, and they had and they ended with the celebration after we won the championship, and watching the fans and hearing the roar of the crowd. That's the first time really I had really given a whole lot of thought to last year. It's funny you asked me that when I actually must have been back about 1:00 a.m. in the morning. I knew I had to get up and do some things, so I watched that. So I realized we're making progress, but because of where we have been, if that's all we want to accomplish, then what are we working for? That's over. And I just want to move on to the next chapter. And that's where I am mentally. And it's been a good year. My kids, Trent finished, graduated. 2 kids got lottery picks. Dominique graduated and gone on doing well over in Europe. But now that's done. I got four green team guys that's in graduate school. They're gonna graduate. I think we might have 8 kids graduating this year. And so to me, that's means an awful lot more to me than just about anything that we're doing, knowing that I'm gonna have 4. I have 4 fourth-year juniors. I think they're all gonna graduate. As a matter of fact, I think Turk only has 3 hours he got to take next semester, then he's going to graduate, which is going to mean an awful lot to him and his family. So it's not all about basketball, it's about taking young people at a stage in their life where they're forming their ideas about how they're going to live, and how they're going to prepare themselves to lead their families, and what kind of jobs they're going to have. All this preparation that we're going through now is helping them grow. And we just hope that we can win basketball games so they can enjoy the experience while we're on this journey. So that's my outlook on it. And I'm not Mr. I think what's his name, Crude. What's the guy who's always pissed off about something?
Scrooge,
there you go. And, I'm not Scrooge, I didn't read comic books, man, back in the day. Sorry about that. But what's his name? Was his name Ebenezer Scrooge?
correct.
There you go. See, I got that. See, now I'm not Ebenezer, I'm just a guy, man, who enjoys what he does and take my job seriously, and and just trying to. I like grinding. I like trying to do things that people have seen as challenges. So that's what I think about last year. I'm just looking forward to 21. Get this party started.
G-Man, you got a question?
Did you? I tell you what I did enjoy. I enjoyed our Christmas carol. Y'all see our Christmas carol? Shit, we were rolling, man. We did. I don't know technically that we sound too good, but we had fun. And hey, and I want y'all to know, we had the tape. We had the tape measure, making sure that we were social distance. See, I told make sure y'all put that down, and we sang with our mask on. Okay, so I just want y'all to know. I don't want y'all criticizing saying we had too many people in one spot. We measured on the floor on our knees with the tape measure to make sure we was 6 feet apart. I told them to go a little bit more, 6.5, because I didn't want Nee to come back, man, and be criticizing me, saying Coach Ham not practicing social distance, and we kept our mask on. Now we would have been recording material if it had not been for those masks. Those masks kind of threw us off a little bit tone wasn't quite as good. So maybe next year we'll be. RCA already called me. Want a contract? I told them no. We're gonna do one for charity. We next year, we're gonna talk to 4 or 5 recording studios. We're gonna let them bid and see how much they'll pay us.
Coach, who's got the best singing voice on the team?
Me?
Besides you.
Well, I'm at such a level that it's kind of hard to, I have to dip down so low to figure out who else. I guess MJ.
Okay.
MJ thinks maybe he might forego his basketball career and want to be a recording artist now.
G-Man, you got a question?
Yeah, Leonard, you could have, with the mask on, you could have lip synced and made yourself sound really good. The thing that struck me at the Gardner-Webb game is how unselfish that Scotty and MJ are, within the framework of the offense, especially Scotty, a highly recruited guy. Sometimes they can be selfish. Would you like them to be a little bit more aggressive with their offense at times?
In other words, you want to say, do I want them to be like you, want to shoot the ball all the time, never pass the ball to anybody? Did you average 1 assist at all in your career?
I played 123 games at Duke. I had 123 assists. Okay?
So 1 a game.
Yeah,
Okay.
1 a game, and that was a mistake.
That's a little more than what I thought. See?
Well, here's the thing, Leonard. If I didn't make baskets, nobody else would get assists.
Well, but the thing of it is, I just want you to know, only you would ask an unselfish question because you might have been the black hole of all time. You know what I mean? And so it's relevant, for you to ask that question. But what I'm saying to you is that I think that is the reason why we've had some measure of success, because guys feel that that's who we are, and that's part of why we've been able to compete, maybe at the level that we've been able to compete at, because they think that playing to each other, creating for each other, gives us a unique culture, and that works. I mean, I think MJ made 2 baskets in that game, and he was just as happy. But I remember Jonathan Isaac scoring 1 point in 1 game, and he was the most giddiest person in the locker room, high-fiving everybody and more animated on the bench. But that's the uniqueness of our club that our kids have bought into, playing with that unselfish spirit. And Mike, you can set up now. Everybody else setting up, you laying down. What's up with that?
It's early. I'm not a morning person. I'm a night owl.
All right, we got any more questions for Coach this morning?
Yeah, Chuck, if I could follow up, and Leonard, just your thoughts on Clemson on tape and what you've seen and what are going to be the keys for you.
Well, Clemson has probably been one of the more competitive games that we've played in the ACC. Brownell is such a great tactician, and I think that he has that ability to get his kids up for great games. I think you can just go back and look at the guys who've gone into that Coliseum and come away with their head handed to them. I mean, every year they get somebody. And last year, I mean, we had 6 charges. I mean, obviously, against them last year, they were well prepared. Now it looked like he has, not only does he have a great system, offensively and defensively. Last year at our place, I think we made like 14, 15 threes against them last year at our place. But up to that point, it was a unbelievably tight game. And we just went on a shooting spree that kind of broke the game open and made it a little more challenging for them. But when we're going up there and not making 14 threes, I thought now it was a dogfight. And but this year they seem to have them, they got some guys who are matured, guys who are playing with confidence, and they have two. They have Honor and Dogs. They just like they attack dogs. I mean, they get after you, and they have supreme confidence. They believe they can make shots. They are, and I mean, we up one with 5 seconds to go in the game, and Dawg said, "I'm not gonna let my team lose." And he went down the court like he was shot out of a cannon, and ran by everybody and laid the ball up and scored. And we went home, and we weren't a bad team last year. Now, so it wasn't like we had a pretty good team and defended pretty good. I mean, they one of the top defensive teams in the country. I think percentage-wise, they might be in the top 3 or 4 teams defensively. Believe me, they have our attention going into this game. We realize that we're going into the Tigers' den, no doubt about that. And they're a top 25 ranked team. They're hungry. They want to climb up. This looks like this should be their year. They're deeper than they ever have been. I mean, they got. I love those guys coming off the bench. Big, long, rangy kids. I think they 169 and 3 6'10s. They got the size, the quality, the depth. They got great defensive philosophy. If I remember correctly, Dawes might have made the first 3 threes he put up down here last year, and I didn't think he ever was going to miss. And had we not went on that shooting spree, I'm not real sure that there wouldn't have been a closer game. So we know what we're up against. Every year they play well. Coach Barnell does an unbelievable job. I've been where he is on that climb building. He's been respectful. Now all of a sudden he's trying to carve out his niche. And I'm asking Maryland, Alabama, and Purdue about them. They'll let you know that this team for real.
Yeah.
Everybody all set?
Thank you, Leonard.
All right, fellas. Hey, Mike, man, you got to do something about it. At least you ought to set up in a chair or something, man. This is everybody else sitting up, you laying down. Something wrong with that picture.
Hey, look, I got my home office here. I got my game notes all set up. I got my phone. I got my iPad. I'm not going to go on YouTube though.
I'm gonna talk to your wife, man. I mean, we're gonna have to get you something. This laying in the bed on press conference, man. This ain't appropriate. Okay, I feel disrespected. I bet if Mike Krzyzewski was here, you'd be setting up saying yes sir and no sir, and you laying down in the bed. I'm just glad you don't have a cigar
Hey,
in your hand.
I'm only 10 years younger than you guys. It's not no sir, yes sir. It's
All right, man. Well, you have a good day, Mike. You ever get back to New Jersey?
I don't, Leonard. It's the thing I hate too, I still can't believe that Maryland's not in the league, and because I got a lot of friends up in the DC area.
Well, I believe the people in New Jersey glad you ain't been back in a while. They don't miss you.
Yeah, they miss my tax dollars. That's what they miss.
Y'all have a good day, man.
Thanks,
Thank
Leonard.
you, Coach.
Thanks, everybody.